Hello everybody, this is James with Kelvin Tides back with another project for the K40 laser. And as usual, we're going to start out here in Autodesk 123D Design. We're going to make another box. This time we're going to make a circular box with kind of a slatted wall that goes around. So what I want to do is start here with cylinder primitive. I'm going to pull out a cylinder and you can see we can get a radius and a height. And so I'm going to set the radius at 50, which is going to give us a diameter of 100 millimeters. And I'm going to set the height to my material height, which is going to be 5 millimeters. There we go. That's set up for, it's going to be our base of our round box. I'm also going to need a box. And so we're going to set the length to 5. That's going to be our material thickness. We're going to leave the width at the default 20, and we're going to put the height at 100. And now this is going to be sort of a tabbed box as well. The tabs are going to be a little different than the ones we used on the last simple box design. And I'll show you how I'll do that. Let's see here. First, I'm going to take the box. I'm going to press Control C, Control V, and create a copy of that box. We're just going to leave it in place. And now I'm going to select one of those boxes that is there. I'm going to use a smart scale. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the width to 10. You can see sort of like that box is sort of highlighted in green there. You can see it is sort of inside the larger box. I'm going to change the height to 110 millimeters, and we're going to press the check mark, press OK. And so now I've got these two boxes that are kind of intersected together in the same space. We're going to go up to our combine menu. We're going to press merge. And we're going to select both of these. We're going to merge them together, and you can see we've got this one piece that has these two tabs on the top and the bottom. And so that's another way you can make tabs for some of your primitives here. So I'm going to select the snap tool. We're going to select the face of either the top or the bottom. We're just going to snap it to the surface of our circle here, and then we're going to drag it down 5 millimeters so that actually intersects the circle. And actually, I think that circle might be too small for what we're going to do. So I'm going to resize that, and instead of being able to resize just the radius, we're using the smart scale, so we're going to have to resize it by the length and the width and the height. And so maybe we'll go 200 millimeters on this circle here. I think that might be a little better, yeah, and which is still fine for us. We're going to be able to easily fit that on the bed of our K40. And I'm going to select both pieces by holding Shift, and I'm going to type A on the keyboard to align, and I'm going to align pieces on this angle here, and they're already centered, so I don't have to worry about that. And so I can just press the checkbox. You can see these are aligned right to the actual center. I don't want it right there, because when we cut it out, that that probably won't hold together too well, unless we use some glue. We could do that. But I'm going to take this and I'm going to bring this back in. Let's see about 5. We'll bring it in maybe another 5. So bring it in 10 millimeters from the edge of that circle. Just want to see how that looks. That might look a little better. We'll figure it out as we go. Okay, so we'll just deselect that. And now what I want to do is I want to create a bunch of these going around the circle. And so this is something that you could probably do this in Inkscape. I find it a little easier to do this sort of thing in 123D Design. So I'm going to select the slat here. I'm going to go up to this this button here for pattern, and we're going to choose circular pattern. So you can press Shift plus N also on the keyboard to get that. And so since we have a solid and an axis, these are our options. We've already got the solid selected, and so we just change to the axis, and when we activate the axis, we're going to choose the edge of the circle, and it's going to automatically give us 3 solids around that axis of the circle. And we can change that. We can change 4, 5, 6, and then we can just keep going up until these kind of come closer together. We can figure out how many we actually can fit around this circumference here. And 25, 26. Okay, 26 they will fit. 27. See, at 27 we're kind of intersecting. You can just barely see that these inside corners are intersecting, so that's not going to work when we go ahead and cut this out and try to put it together. So if we do 26, that will work. We're going to have just a little bit of space, and of course, you remember we're going to have a little bit of curve space too, and that may work with 27, just counting that curve space that we're going to cut. But I think we'll go with 26. This is going to be all right. And so we'll just click away, and we'll leave all of those there. And we'll take our circle, press Control C, Control V to make a copy of that. And I'm just going to pull that up by 105, 105, just so we can see the tops of those slats sort of sticking out. And the nice thing about this is you really don't need to do a lot of math. I mean, you can do the math if you want to get these things perfect, you know, as far as how far away from the edge you would have to be to get a certain number of these and a certain width of them. And you know, there's a lot of math you can do, but it's also something that we don't necessarily need to worry about too much. We can just do this all sort of visually by eye. So now I've got the top of my box, but I'm going to cut a circle out of that. So I'm going to press Control C, Control V to create a copy here. And I'm going to click away. I'm going to select it again and then do a smart scale. And so we're going to make this one, let's see, 180. No, that's way too small, too big. How about 140? That might work better. So let's go 140 by 140. We could probably make it 160. Let's see, how's that working out? Yeah, maybe 160 by 160. Okay, and we don't have to do this, but we'll change the height just to make it easier for us to grab the primitive when we go to subtract it. So we'll just put it at 10 there in the height. That way it's kind of popping out. And so when we go up to our combine and we choose subtract, we're going to subtract this larger circle with this circle we just copied, and we've made it a little taller. And so now it's going to put a hole in the top, and you can see, you know, what's the distance from, you know, these slats that are sort of sticking out. And you can see they're further away from the outside edge of the circle than they are from the inside. And so we can fix that by going back and choosing another size and doing that all over again. Or what I like to do at this point is just go ahead and in the modify menu, use our friendly old press pull option, and we'll just choose the inside surface here, and we can pull that to where we want it. So if I pull that 3 millimeters, kind of looks good. That kind of looks like it's maybe a little closer to the middle than it is to the edge, but that's okay. That's kind of good enough for me. We've simply created this this sort of box, and so the only other thing that we really have to do is we have to select all of these slats and then cut out top and the bottom to have our holes put in. And so I'm just going to select everything and press Control C, Control V, and that's going to copy everything, including the top and the bottom. So I'm going to get rid of the top, copy, holding and pressing delete, and same thing with the bottom, copy. We'll deselect that. Now we have one top piece, one bottom piece, and we have two of each of these slats. And so we can go up to our combine menu, we can choose subtract, and we are going to subtract. Let's do the bottom first. We'll subtract the bottom piece using all of the copies on our slats, and this is where we got to pay attention to which ones we're actually grabbing and which ones we're not. You can see as we select one, it's highlighted in green, and we can just rotate around so that we select all of them. And it's easier to do this one by one than trying to do that whole shift copy thing, because we might select something that we don't want to subtract with. And so we just go around. This doesn't take very long. Just to go around, select each one of these until they're all highlighted. And there's our last one here. And then just click away, and you can see now that if we pull the bottom piece down, every one of those has a little slot cut out, and that looks good. And so we'll just press undo to bring that back up, and then we're going to go ahead and we'll do the same thing for the top. And so actually this way we can probably get everything except for, well, we'll just do it the same way. We'll select the whole kit and caboodle. Control C, Control V makes a copy of everything, and then we'll click away. We don't have to worry about the bottom piece, so we'll delete that, and we'll delete the top copy piece. We don't have to worry about that. And now we have copies of all our slats once again. To do this with the top piece, so we'll go to Combine, Subtract. We'll select our top circle, and we'll use all of these slats once again, the copies of them, to subtract and make the holes for the top piece here. So let's go around. And there again, it doesn't take very long just to do this. You don't have to do them all at one time like I'm doing either. You can, you know, if you find that you clicked away and only did half of them or a few of them, you can go back and grab the ones that you missed, because those copies will still be there. And so there we go. As you can see, we've got all our slats. If I deleted any one of them, then we're going to have a hole there because there is no copy. So we'll undo that. And as we pull the top piece of our box up, you can see all those slats have a hole now that they'll be able to fit in. And so we'll go Control Z on that. And so, like I said, in the last video, I like to keep kind of a intact model when I make it. And so I'll select the whole model, and you can group these together if you want. I generally don't do that unless I'm doing something fairly intricate. And so we'll get it off the surface because we just need a few pieces there again to export. So we're going to export the bottom. We'll make a copy of that, copy, paste, click away, click again, drop it down to the surface, and we'll just move this off to the side. It doesn't really matter where. And then we'll take our top piece, Control C, Control V, copy, paste, click away, select it again, drop that one down, and we don't want these touching. It really is the only thing. It doesn't matter where they go. Let's try that. Control C, Control V, and we'll pull that away. Yeah, that looks better. And so we'll turn that 90 degrees so it is going to lay flat when we drop it down. Yeah, and that looks good. And so, okay. There's our three pieces that we need to make this box. Now remember, we have 26 of these slats, and we're gonna do that all in Inkscape because we only need one piece, and we're gonna copy it over and over in Inkscape when we go to set that up. So I'm gonna export this as a 2D SVG file, and you can see everything that's highlighted in red is going to be exported. That's the exact pieces we want. So we'll press the check mark, and we're going to go, we'll call this round box. Oh, a couple extra spaces there. Round box. Okay, and that is exported. And so, if you will, catch me in the next video, and we'll load this up in Inkscape. We'll do all the editing so that we can send it off to K40 Whisperer and get this project cut. So until then, we'll catch you later. Bye.